Okay, the next question. How would you get America back to work?
I think jobs is the most important issue of this campaign. We need to get people working again, and I'm absolutely convinced that government doesn't create jobs. If government creates jobs, it's taking money out of the private sector and putting it very expensively into the government sector. I think it's absolutely wrong. When you look at the price payment scale, salary scale for government employees versus private sector employees, government employees make way more, almost double the amount when you roll in all the benefits. That's got to stop. We need to once again embrace American exceptionalism, that we have the best, the brightest, the best entrepreneurs, people who are innovators. We need to give them that opportunity to do what they're good at doing. And that's taking an idea, growing that idea, creating jobs. I believe the most passionate thing we can do for a family is help them have a good job that pays well, that they love, that they can pour themselves into, they can provide for their family, they can have great health care, great benefits going forward. We need to fight for that. Right now, Congress and our congressman is doing more to destroy jobs. As I'm going around this district, for example, I was with a great manufacturer out west who started a company about 15 years ago with one machine press. He grew it and grew it and grew it. Now he's got 12 employees working for him. He knows he can do the job. He's creating something that's being sent around the world, and it's the best, what he does. What he's scared to death about is what government is doing to him. He doesn't know what his taxes are going to be. He doesn't know how much health care is going to cost. He doesn't know if his property is going to be worth anything. Congress is doing everything to make it more difficult for people to create jobs. We've got to stop that. We've got to encourage productivity once again and get people working. We can do that, but the current Congress isn't doing it.
Thank you very much. Okay, we've got the last question. What is your position on the first Bush, tax cuts expiring and why?
Well, I think this is a great question. I believe many of us are feeling the recession that we're going through, really difficult times. I talked earlier about the budget and the fact that federal government has done nothing to pass a budget this year. First time in 36 years. That is irresponsible. I believe, and I see with my own family, that my wife and I, we've got 4 kids, and literally weekly we're going to our budget to see, can we do this? Can we do this little project around the house? Or can we save up for a vacation once this election is over? Or how are we going to do for Christmas this year? We look at our budget constantly, and yet government, once again, is excluding themselves, saying we have to follow by the rules, but they don't have to. That's wrong. I believe it's absolutely the wrong time to raise taxes on families in the time of recession. We need government to tighten its belt, just like the rest of us have tightened our belts. And what is amazing to me is Congress is out in Washington, D.C., maybe their last week that they're going to be in session for this year, for official session, and they may not vote on any of the extension of these current tax rates. If they don't vote on that, that's a tax increase on every single one of us. They need to vote on that to pass, keep those rates as they are. I believe we're not undertaxed. I think we're overtaxed. I think the problem is government spends too much, and there's not enough accountability with how they spend their money. We need more accountability out there. It's the wrong time to raise taxes on families. And so we need to make sure that we hold our congressman accountable and see how he votes. He's obviously got a very close relationship with Nancy Pelosi, so I hope he encourages her to call the vote, to make sure that he preserves the tax rates for middle-class families, for all families, and this is the wrong time to raise taxes on anybody. Thank you again for being here tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to address you. I've been involved in voting in elections and volunteering in elections and helping other people and running sometimes myself for office for quite a few years. I'm convinced that there's never been a more important election in my lifetime than the election on November 2nd, 2010. That we are at a tipping point in our nation. That many of the programs that are going on are really driving our nation towards a cliff. And I'm fearful for my kids and my grandkids of the direction of our nation. We need to question every dollar that's spent. Is this important enough to put our kids and our grandkids in debt for the next 30, 40, 50 years? If not, we shouldn't do it. We need to pull back. We need smaller federal government. We need more responsive federal government. We need a more vibrant economy. We can do that. I love it in this district that one of the people that was born and raised in this district is Ronald Reagan. He was born in Tampico, was raised out in Dixon. And I like the image that he talked about, where you look at the horizon, you see a little blip of light in the horizon. That was the sun in the horizon. And you wouldn't necessarily know looking at a picture, is that sun rising or is it setting? I believe if we can act, if we can pull things back, if we can once again embrace American exceptionalism, that sun is rising. I look into the eyes of my kids, 16 years old, 14 years old, 8 years old, and 6 years old. I look into their eyes and I see the hope, I see the opportunity, I see the ability to be able to do wonderful things. I think back to my own great-grandpa, who was a doorman at Marshall Fields, came over from Sweden as a doorman at Marshall Fields, and how I wish he could be here now to be a part of my opportunity to run for Congress. What a great opportunity. But we need to act this November 2nd to make sure that we turn things back in the right direction, the direction of liberty and opportunity and freedom. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here tonight.